Everyone died. Everyone loves, everyone cried. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time to stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. All around the world, we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time to stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace. Thank you guys for joining me on Chasing Shadows radio show. I'm back now finally. Today I was supposed to be coming on a little bit earlier, but I have no excuses. But the excuse is this: it's absolutely true. My next door neighbor, who actually died 6 months ago in a house fire, the people decided to destruct the building right next to our place. And no, it was so noisy. There's no way I could have done the show even that early. The time schedule is not 7 o'clock, but they weren't done until just now leaving. So I had to wait until they're gone because these guys are like bang, bang, boom, boom, and the ground rocked. They're tearing down. They tore down his house. They tore down his deck because of the fire. And they're not done yet. They got a major. It's still a lot of work to do, but they never told us when they're going to come. They just showed up, boom, boom, bang, and woke us up suddenly early hours of this morning. And they've been tearing things down all day. It's crazy. So, yeah, I give you a bit of quick heads up regarding what happened. My house almost burned as well about 6 months ago when there was a faulty heater, baseboard heater in his house. That's where the fire started. So when the fire started, I heard a snap, crackle, pop, boom. And lucky for me, I was in my workshop room here, my office. And yeah, I forgot to pull this back here for a second. Here, pull something out. And anyways, what happened was they had to drag his body out because he died of smoke inhalation. But the fire was so vast, and his house and my house are no more than 3 feet. And so lucky, I was very fortunate that my wife and I had our water hoses on. So we were putting out the fire from water hose in the front backyard. My wife was in the backyard. I was in the front yard. We're putting out the fire. So this happened 6 months ago. This is back in October. And so anyways, now today, these guys told us they're going to be tearing down the house, which they started early this morning, and freaking out the cats. Like our cats are just flying everywhere, trying to hide. And you can hear the bang and rumble of the ground, almost very similar to almost like an earth tremor. Scare the crap out of our animals all day. So you had to try and turn the TV on, trying to crank it up a little louder, because all you hear is a boom, 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 bang. And yeah, and dumpsters coming in, they're loading in the dumpsters. It was crazy all day today. So yeah, we're here. And that's why I started so late, because I had to wait until these guys are done, or else you would have been hearing rumbling still. Mind you, rumbling and bang and booming. Right now, we are at war. In a way, I'll say this: what happened? Here's what happened. Our liberal government has made a decision that they want to do a draft, call for a draft for all Canadian men and women. First time ever in Canada. They want to do a draft and to support the Ukraine military to fight the Russians. I got proof right here on video. They're calling for a draft. They want to initiate the draft for the very first time in Canada. I don't agree with that whatsoever. And why should we go to war against a country that has never harmed us? And apparently the Liberal government wants to support the Ukraine to go and bomb, or I guess go to war. So when they initiated this yesterday, the idea, what happened today? Israel struck Iran on their nuclear. Basically, they blew up their nuclear sites, and so there's a war there. Now it's like there's people attacking each other. It's getting really ridiculous, guys. This is getting to be too much. Now I thought things were going to calm down, cool off. Yes. Okay, everybody's so happy to see that Elon Musk left Trump and left his office. They go, okay, Musk is gone. Okay, we can get our lives back together again, because people were destroying his cars, destroying his factories. They were destroying. People were literally, seriously, they were physically Molotov cocktail bombing Musk's cars, scratching them, tearing them up, like doing damage, hammers, you name it. Not just to his cars, but to regular people who are citizens of their own country. Okay, whether it's U.S., Canada, you name it. There's people coming up to the Tesla cars and destroying them. Why are you destructing personal property, folks. Though you may hate Musk, but why are you destroying other people's personal property? That's ridiculous. Okay, even in our country, here in Canada, it's gone too far. Okay, so the second thing they're doing is, so Musk, I guess, made up his mind, said, you know what, I'm not going to work for Trump. I'm stepping out of the way. Crazy part is, nobody's doing any more harm to any of the vehicles. They're not bombing the factory anymore. But Musk actually is going to find those people who did the damage. He's got them on camera, and he's going to have them arrested for crimes against humanity. So he's pissed. It's actually on video. He says he's going to get them. And he says, you're not going to go to jail, not a regular jail. You're going far, far away. So he's treating it like it's possibly like a military thing, and it's not. It's just that basically people are pissed the fact that what he was doing. I don't get the whole story, why everybody begins suddenly just hates Musk because Musk is associating with our commander-in-chief. But that's what they're doing. They want to get to you, folks. Anytime anybody associates with the president of the United States, or anybody who disassociates with Carney here in Canada, BC, in Ontario, Carney's getting called out as a bullshit now too. And Parliament is not doing so well for Carney or his Liberal people. The Conservatives are actually just got him up against the wall. Okay, he's got him up against the wall. And anyways, yeah, you guys need to know this. Now, let's talk about this. I need to share this with you guys. In 2022, this is very, very important. Please understand, you guys need to know the story from the beginning to why. I'm trying to bring this up. When I titled the show, it's called Rocks, Stones, and Bricks. Oh my. Why? It all started back in 2022 during our protesters' our convoy protest, peaceful protest here in Ottawa. What the city police decided to do during the protest, even before the protest, they decided to create a bit of see if they can get people to get all worked up and to do destruction and to harm other people. So what the city police had done, not the RCMP, city police. And fortunately, there was a young man who was very smart and very intelligent, decided to video record the police backing up on the middle of the street, dropping off large, huge wire mesh containers of rocks, stones, and bricks. And they were square, right? Full of them in the middle of the road or on the side of the sidewalk. Now, not just one, but a half a dozen. Why were they placed there? For what reason? Rocks, stones, and bricks. There's nothing to be built there, but the guy says to the city police, why are you dropping these off here? Now, the police could have answered you, say, well, we put them here because they asked us to do this because they needed it for something so-and-so, so-and-so. And nothing to do with gardening because there's no garden. Had nothing to do with construction because there's no construction. It was all to do with destruction. They were waiting to have people be mad and to throw rocks, stones, and bricks at government officials so they can create another lockdown. Do you guys get it? To create another lockdown. They want them to have a martial law in Canada. Now, this is before Trudeau was actually calling for an emergency war act. This is before that. Then it didn't work because he called them out on their bullshit, what they had done, and they lied because they totally ignored him. He said, and he penned in on the rock, stones, and bricks. These are all mixed up inside of a bin, a bunch of bins. And these bins are like 20 of them, all scattered around the area, not just one particular spot, all around the area of the city. That's designed for any politician or anybody who is important, okay, to drive by so you can throw them at them. What the city wanted, or what the police wanted, was for the public to throw the rocks, stones, and bricks at the truckers' convoy. Because don't forget, folks, Trudeau, at the time when he was busy in government, hiding behind closed doors, he wanted you to believe that the truckers were racists, misogynists, and you name it. Okay? So he wanted to get the people to hate the truckers, hate anybody that's out there trying to defend the rights of freedom, to destruct those vehicles. That's what he wanted. He hired them to do this. Okay? It didn't work. But as of now, in California, what are they doing? They did the same thing. They copied the same idea from what had happened that didn't happen. And the government in California, the mayor, decided to order all those brick, stones, and rocks in bins to be set up in locations. So people, as the ICE is driving by the vehicles, they throw those rocks, stones, and you name it at them. Now, why? Because of illegal aliens, you're picking them up and you're arresting them and taking them away, and you put them in these whatever contained areas, and they're put there until it's time for them to go home, to be sent back to their own country. But because somebody or some people who are part of this little organization decided to say, oh, the mayor go, oh, it's not fair, these people have the right to have their freedom. They're, even though they're illegal immigrants, they should have the freedom. Gotta tell ICE to leave them alone. President Trump, you tell ICE to stand down, blah, 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 blah. And they want the people to get all worked up to hate the president of the United States because he sent out ICE to go after the illegal aliens. Now, here it is. Okay. I've got proof. I've got a copy of it, folks. See, I got that copy and bring it up. But there's a copy I was sharing, and that there's a website like Craigslist. They're paying people lots of money to go to certain locations to destruct, to destroy, to trash the ICE vehicles. And even if they have to throw rock, stones, and bricks at the people physically. These people are getting paid to do the work. This is a paid protest. Paid protest. Okay, it's been proven because it came online. Now, someone has said, oh, President Trump is the one that hired these people to throw these rock, stones, and bricks. That he hired them. Wrong. He didn't. They're trying what the people are trying to do. They say, oh, we got this video and we got this proof over here, and then he's the one that hired him because he asked him to come in because he's part of this corporation. No. That is black hat information, folks. The black hat information, they put it online purposely to make you believe that Trump actually did it. It wasn't Trump setting it up to to create bricks and stones and rocks to throw at the ICE so then they can create a martial law. It had nothing to do with that. George Soros even said that he was willing to pay people to stand up for the rights of the people for freedom of illegal aliens. And that was Soros that said it. Okay, Soros is the one that's paying for all this. You guys need to understand. Trump's not the guy that's doing this all. It has not. He's trying to keep the peace, and you guys think he's not. They think he's looking for war. He's not. Even Trump even said that he's looking for peace. Even when the fight between right now between Israel and, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's bring this up. I'm thinking of a time to bring this up on the wall. Let's have some fun. Okay. Thank you guys all for joining me in the chat room tonight. Like I said, my apologies for being late, but I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, back in Bold Eagle. I signed up for the draft, no fear. Okay. I'm for the women. I think that she should have equal jobs, and mines are sure the extra hands. Now, also want to bring up the two regarding also the fires, folks, in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Those fires were intentional. They were not done by carbon by any means. Okay. It is intentional. They caught a lot of people actually got paid to burn. Let me bring something else too before I go further in that one too. We've had forest fires here in BC. People have witnessed actually light beams being shot down from the sky. Well, as we already know, is DEW. And if they can't do DEW, they'll actually take these vehicles that they drive, white, unmarked vehicles, and they shoot 3 torches out the side of the vehicles, and they torch the side of the ditches as they're driving by. There's no license plate on these vehicles. They're unknown licenses. The drivers, if you want to record the drivers have their mask on, so you can't see their face. Okay, so Kathy says they got fires going off outside of Portland and the Columbia River, on the Columbia River. Yeah, and it's crazy. Portland, I mean, like I said before, I'm telling people right now, I had seen fires galore, and I remember seeing a lot of fires in California, an earthquake actually it's due here. I do see an earthquake coming in California really bad, a real bad, nasty one. That I had a dream of, and it's not going to be long that it gets hit, but when it does happen, you're going to feel it. It's going to happen also in Florida, and possibly in anything to do with the western region. Parts of DC, parts of BC may get a little rib of it of the earthquake. But we're having fires now. Why all of a sudden everybody's having a fire? Let's have a fire sale. The last couple of years, let's go back to the COVID times. Okay, before COVID, there was no forest fires, none. Okay, so this is what they call the climate change. This is all they call it climate. They want it. The Bill Gates and Fauci and all them want to call climate change, and they want to buy more land. And the only way they can buy more land, if they can't get you off, they burn you off. Okay, that's what Fauci and Gates and their other billionaires and trillionaires are doing. That's how they get rid of you. They want you off the land. Okay, Winnipeg, especially with people that are on the reservations, because there's mineral rights under it. Mineral rights, folks. People don't realize it. There's money under that ground, but the government won't let you have it. There's mineral rights in Manitoba, mineral rights in Saskatchewan. That was proven. Mineral rights in Alberta. That's been proven. Lots of gold in Alberta, by the way. They burned the place. They do it purposely. I mean, Slave Lake has already had, back in 2008 or 9, Slave Lake had a major fire in its own town. Half the freaking town burnt down. Why? Because people believe that the forest fire is started by what? You don't have forest fires that is that simple. Before any government really wanted land, there was never a forest fire. None. You were fine. You were there for years. You go back to the 1850s, 1860s, 1880s. There was never a fire. No field was on fire. People lived. Right? All the fires are starting at the same. Yes, true, Keith. All the fires are starting at the same time. Why? Why are all the fires starting at the same time? Because to get your attention, they want to call it climate change. It's to basically create, and here's the word, folks, they want to create a martial law. So they can get you into the city. Here it begins. What's coming, folks? 15-minute city. Martial law? Who's in control? Anybody who's living outside the city limits, they're trying to force them into the city so you can't have no access to do anything, no freedoms. There's not a fire in the city. There's fire outside the city. These are people living on the plains in Manitoba. I'm originally from Manitoba. Of all the years I have lived in Manitoba, I'm 68 years old. We have never, ever, ever had a forest fire. Never. Since I was a kid. Never once. Maybe a patch to burn, but that's just a patching fire. Okay, that's the burn back, if you call burnbacks. No big deal. But we've never lost homes due to like hundreds of homes because of someone supposed to start a fire. They were intentional. They caught people doing it, and they asked them, "Why'd you do it?" Well, we got paid for it. They're looking. What happens is they put an ad in the newspaper, ad in the Craigslist, ad wherever is not newspaper, more like the social networks. They put ads out there offering lots of money to burn things, offering lots of money to join protests. Two things, folks: burning and protesting. Rocks, stones, and bricks. And it's not the BRIC or the BRKs. Not this had nothing to do with your. And this is the real bricks. They're doing it purposely to get your attention and to make you think that, oh well, climate change is terrible. Maybe we have to cover up again, and maybe this. No, it's not. Look back at your history. Our country has never had forest fires so great until they decide to have their COVID lockdown. 2019, folks. Anything from further back, maybe 2016. The odd town got a small fire. That's it. And they're blaming the railroad. Oh, well, another BC town half the town got burned down, and we're blaming the railroad because it was sparking. It never sparked. We already know who did it. DEW, because everybody has a witness out there saying they saw something shooting from the sky, a light. Oh, it was lightning. Clear sky. That was lightning. Bull crap. DEW. If you know those of you that may not know what it is, it's called direct energy weapon, and they talk about it on YouTube. These are the things they're using now. They're proud to make these direct energy weapons because they can do it without your permission. They're for hire to do whatever you want them to do. That's what they're doing. Oh, we're going to spray the skies. Chemtrails. Oh, it's just your imagination. We're not hurting nobody. This guy's doing it for 20 years. He knew people were dying all around him because he knows what the chemicals are. Why was he told he has to wear a mask, some special kind of mask and gloves and like a hazmat suit? And they bring the containers in, they put them in the back of his plane, and then he has to wear that while he flies so he doesn't get sick. But yet they're spraying the skies? Does that make any sense, folks? None whatsoever. So these people are out in the field, and the farmers are out in the field, and they're saying, oh, this is an organic farm, but we have to spray this. So the guy's wearing a hazmat suit, mask on, and he's spraying all of his vegetables, but he calls that an organic farm. That's still chemical. That's still poison on the food, because if you start eating a vegetable, if it stings in your mouth, you can use all the soap and water all you want. It doesn't come off. You're poisoning your mouth. You're poisoning your throat. You're poisoning your stomach. It turns itself into you know what? Slow death. And what are they using? Think about it. What are they spraying with? To kill the weeds, we need to use what? It's a white bottle. Call Roundup. Who owns Roundup? Bill Gates. Okay? Any which way you turn, Gates, his name is on it. When they want to burn you off your property, Gates' name is on it because he wants your land. Anybody living on reservations, and they're being burned out, those are done intentionally so they can get the land. Because why did Christopher Freeland go all the way down to Saskatchewan? A certain reservation got burned, Lac St. Anne, and I believe three or four other ones got burnt. Okay. And they lost about 80, 90 houses. Now, I asked my best friend about this because he was a teacher out there on the reserve. And I said, when you were there and that fire happened, did you ever find out who started the fire? He says they didn't, but they couldn't figure out how come the fire carried on. But they kept on seeing shiny lights from the sky, coming down from the sky, and all of a sudden there's another fire. Shooting lights. And it ain't no freaking lightning, guys, in a clear blue sky. You don't get lightning in a clear blue sky. There's no tall trees like we have here in BC. We have cedars between 150 to 250 feet tall. Now, that's understandable here, but they have very small, short pine. They've got, oh my God, poplar. It's just regular common trees. Like that's all you get. No big deal. We get our chaga from our trees there from that area. I mean, there's all kinds of, but it's not, we don't get tall trees in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. They're just regular common trees. But how come that fire just had to go out there and they had to burn? They said, oh, they start from the trees. What trees? And apparently the north end of Manitoba never got burned, but 600 miles away, there was a fire. But why is it a fire there? Because someone said a couple months ago, oh, we found some minerals that can be worth a lot of money, just like gold. But we wanted to negotiate with the people on the reservation, but nobody wants to agree. So they decided to say, no, you can't come on our land. Guess what? Fire. Yeah. How many fires were started with the laser beam? Keep on, just take your hands and do this, Heidi, until they get sore. I'm not kidding you. It has happened everywhere. Jasper got hit with a DEW. We already know that. No, Trudeau said, oh, the reason how the fire got burned, because a baby bear had a little stick in his mouth. Someone said they saw a little baby bear pick up a stick with a fire on the end of it, and he carried it to the edge of town, and he dropped it there, and the fire started. Really? But how come a whole bunch of buildings, anything with blue on it, never got burned? Any roofs that had blue on it never got burned. But basically, they had to make sure anything with no blue, okay? Same thing with Hawaii. How come Hawaii suddenly had a fire? It had nothing to do with the volcanoes. And their trees are different. It wasn't dry there. It's a moist area. This is very tropical. But they suddenly had a whole town full of fire. Okay, Lahuna, Hawaii. Burned. It freaking burned. Everybody had to evacuate. But suddenly there's 2,000 children missing. Where are the kids? Okay. Lahaina, Hawaii. Okay. One area of Hawaii, that whole part of that island was, and the governor said, well, we're going to clean it all out. We're going to put the 15-minute city in there. They already had plans to put the 15-minute city in Lahaina, Hawaii. But everybody that lived there lose their rights of the property. Because once your land is burned, they offer you money. Because meantime, if you're not going to live there, but guess what? In that area of Lahaina, Hawaii, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Oprah Winfrey, their house never got burned. And they're the ones that were coming online and asking people to donate money to help the fire, give money to the people for the fire. But this account that was supposed to be there to put the money to help donate for the people was to Oprah's account. It didn't go to the people. It went to her. And then they found out later what the bullshit was going on. Next thing you know, she's gone. She disappeared. They weren't talking about it no more. And you think Dwayne the Rock Johnson actually is clean? He's as dirty as the rest of them. And he's so proud of his family being Canadian. He's as dirty as the rest of them. I'm not kidding you. You'll find out. There's more to talk about. Okay, what I want to do, let's see here. Let's use this one. I'm going to bring this one up for you guys to watch. Watch carefully. If you've seen it before, great. Please share it. But I want you to see this part. I'm bringing up this video.